Hi, this is Tim from fititmidlife.com. Today, I've got the brand new Nike React Metcon Turbo. How is this shoe better than Nike's original React foam-based Metcon shoe? That's what we're going to talk about. This is a first look, first workout, so stick around. All right, here's the Nike React Metcon Turbo, the newest of the Metcon shoes from Nike. Let's take a look around. So far, I really like these. They have fixed everything that I did not like about the previous React-based shoe, the Nike React Metcon. We'll talk all about that. These are size 11 and a half, and I have a size 11 coming as well. They have not yet arrived, so I can't comment too much on sizing, but the width feels good here. These are long for me, but I think I'm going to have to stick with half size up because the width, I can't imagine this being any tighter on me and still being comfortable, to be honest. So basically, this is the shoe. And the big deal here is that the midsole is made from React foam instead of Nike's normal dual density foam that they use in the regular Metcon. All right, here it is, the Nike React Metcon Turbo. Let's take a tour first. Start in the bottom, the outsole. Very different than the Metcon 6, yet eerily similar in some ways, right? Diamond-shaped heel. But look at that, they've added that feature up on the forefoot too, so you get some extra width on the sides up in the forefoot. 004 sticky rubber up front, 001 hard rubber in the heel. This has been the way they've done things for years. And you can see there, there's rope wrap, a mild rope wrap. Hey, isn't that a nice change? I think this is the appropriate size rope wrap for most fitness enthusiasts. You can see the bottom's got a decent amount of like a tread pattern there in the middle, and then you can see the rope wrap comes around up on the other side. So it looks like that would be really good for gripping a rope because there's some pretty deep kind of louvers in that. So that's interesting. So no surprises here, pretty flat, good traction, good grip. This is loud. It's loud like a Metcon 6. I'll throw a clip in with the sound, but this heel is just so rock solid firm as Nike loves to do in the Metcon shoes, and it makes for a very loud clip clop when you're on firm surfaces, wood floors, asphalt, concrete, etc. And I'll put a clip in so you can see that and hear that. Let's look at the upper. So I like what they've done with this upper. You can see there's kind of like a mesh, two different kinds of mesh, and that is interesting because, you know, the two different meshes make for an interesting look, and they're both, this is more like a knit on this side, and the other one's more like a dual layer material with like a waffle pattern on it. One of these is fairly breathable in that you can see sunshine shining through into the shoe. I think it's this side with the waffle mesh. But not as, the perforations are not as apparent as in the Metcon 6, but this should be decently breathable, at least this half of the shoe. Real laces, isn't that nice, right? The Nike React Metcon from prior times had the quick lacing system, which did not work very well in my opinion, and in the opinion of many, many others. No fly wire here, but you can see they've got some kind of a system where there's like the outer part of the shoe, and then there's this inner part that kind of wraps around your foot. It does hug your foot. This upper, the midfoot, it's a nice, close-fitting shoe, and I like that. I don't like a shoe that feels like the upper is kind of loose and sloppy. No big Nike text on this one, but there is a big swoosh. but that looks pretty good. And Nike React, right? The whole big deal here is the React foam. The tongue is good. It's thin. I like thin. It's thin but tough, and it's very wide. So there's no lack of coverage in the tongue on this shoe. So that's pretty nice. See, we looked at the diamond-shaped heel. We looked at the rope wrap. The toe area, you've got the toe guard. Good support up here for your toes when you're doing push-ups and burpees and all that kind of stuff. Look at what they've done with the heel counter, though. They've still got the smooth, slick TPU. So that's minimum drag on the wall when you're doing handstand push-ups. But they've kind of truncated it, right? Kept it down to the part that matters to help reduce weight. Also, the minimal rope wrap helps reduce the weight as well. And the collars come up. We'll see this in the side-by-side comparison, but the collar is taller. That is a good thing because the collar is too low for comfort for me on the Metcon 6. Let's quit dancing around the big feature, though. Let's get that midsole out and take a look. Here it is, right? Removable midsole made from React foam. What is React foam? This is Nike's foam that is made for cushion, and it gives you a crisp kind of rebound, reactive type of cushioning system, hence the name React. You can see they've done something very different, though, this year. There's actually a center section. This is very hard plastic. This is very, very firm. And maybe this is the turbo part of the shoe. I'm not sure. I couldn't find any marketing materials that describe what this very stiff center section does, but that is another key difference from last year's React Metcon shoe. So that is the removable midsole. And as I mentioned, does not come with the hyperlifts. You get the drop is the drop. Feels like 4 millimeters of heel-to-toe drop to me. How much does it weigh? 13.1 ounces. 13.1 ounces. So it is about 9/10 of an ounce lighter, 8/10, 9/10 of an ounce lighter than the regular Metcon 6. So that's our main tour. Let's line it up side by side with some other shoes real quick. Here we go side by side with the Nike React Metcon. Remember, this thing was like a Metcon 5, but had the forged Flyknit upper, had the big ostentatious Nike text, and this weird quick lacing system that I don't think anyone liked. And that was a lot of my issues with the shoe. Much happier with the React Metcon Turbo with real laces, a better upper, and it's still got the React foam midsole, so that's nice too. All right, remember this one, the Nike React Metcon. Interesting, but not a winner in my book. And based on the feedback I got from my videos, a lot of people felt the same way. So had the regular Metcon 5 style outsole, the big rope wrap, had the Flyknit upper, but this is the weirdest, this is the thickest, least stretchy, densest Flyknit I've ever seen. It's not at all like the Flyknit on the running shoes and things like that. And I think they actually called this forged Flyknit. So it actually wasn't that comfortable. Really didn't give you any of the advantages of Flyknit, in my opinion. Very thick, and it was sort of coated. You can see the shiny material here. This didn't really breathe well, in my opinion. And people didn't like the big Nike text. So they all had this Nike. There was no way around this. There were some colorways where it was a little more subtle than others, but at the end of the day, there was no escaping the big Nike. No escaping the quick lacing system either. So neat idea, but really made it tough to get the right amount of tightness when you put the shoe on. So overall, I didn't really care much for the Nike React Metcon for those reasons. What about the midsole? What about that React foam-based midsole? So here it is. You can see it's a little bit different in this version, of course, because it is purely React foam. And, it offers a subtle improvement over the dual density midsole in the regular Metcon 6 or Metcon 5, as the case may be, I'll say. So, if we compare the two, the big difference here, again, is the plastic part in the center. And so you can see that right there. What that does, again, a mystery. I'm not quite sure yet, but maybe that's the turbo part of things. Maybe this gives you improved arc support. I couldn't really feel a difference for the most part when I was wearing these in my workout and the running that I did in preparation for this review, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later. So overall, the Nike React Metcon, the things I didn't like, they've fixed with the new shoe, right? Because you still have the React foam midsole, which is a nice subtle improvement over the regular midsole. Real laces, they got rid of the weird upper. And, it looks like a Nike. It's got a nice big swoosh, and it doesn't have any obnoxious text on it. So overall, this is much, much better. We'll line it up here with the Nike Metcon 6. The Metcon 6 that we know and love. One key difference, the Turbo does not come with hyperlifts, just like in the previous shoe. It's the drop is the drop. Drop feels to be 4 millimeters, so I can't really detect any difference in heel height in this React Metcon Turbo as compared to this Metcon 6. So I'm going to say the drop is the same. All right, let's put these up on the bench and get an up-close look. How about the Metcon 6? Can we compare the two? Of course we can. So to take a quick look here, we've mentioned already the outsoles made with two different kinds of rubber, firm, hard in the back, stickier for better traction up front. Nice improvements on the width with the diamond kind of being applied to the forefoot. And, I'll be honest, I like the smaller rope wrap of the React Metcon, smaller rope wrap. Does it make a difference in weight? Yes, it does. 13.9 ounces. 13.9 ounces, U.S. men's size 11.5. This is 13.1 ounces, U.S. men's size 11.5. I go half size up on the Metcons because otherwise I don't get enough width here in the toes. I have a size 11 pair coming. They have not arrived yet, so I cannot give definitive sizing advice. These are a tiny bit too long for me, but I will take too long any day of the week over not wide enough in the toe area. The other thing that I'm really digging is the collar is up higher. It's not a huge amount. It's enough to make a big difference for me in comfort. In the Metcon 6, I feel like I'm on the verge of getting heel slippage. I pop the hyperlifts in, then I'm definitely getting heel slipping sensation with the shoe. This fits me better in all conditions, although I haven't put the hyperlifts into this since it doesn't come with any. Taller collar is better for me. The tongue, you can see they've gone ultra minimalistic on the React Metcon, possibly one of their weight savings ideas. The Metcon 6 has a more padded tongue, but so far this seems plenty fine. It's got the round laces. I normally like flat laces, but these don't look half bad, and they seem to work fine, so can't really complain too much there. The Metcon 6, of course, has the super perforated upper with the big perforations you can see through, and these breathe well. Not that this doesn't, I've only had this now just one day, so I can't say definitively, but these seem like they'll be fine as well. Very comfortable, nice upper, and seems like it will probably breathe well enough, I'll say. Sound test. Nike React Metcon Turbo versus Nike Metcon 6. Both are very noisy on firm surfaces. All right, so let's talk in the gym and out of the gym and things like that. So I did some quick workouts with these. I'll put some footage in, some cleans, some front squats, some deadlifts. And, overall, my feeling is the drop in the two shoes is the same. So I suspect this is also 4 millimeters. The React foam-based midsole gives a nice, subtle improvement over the cushioning of the Metcon 6, just like the original Nike React Metcon. It's not a super night and day difference. You're not going to put the shoe on and feel that the React foam is making a gigantic difference. It's quite a subtle improvement. It just feels like it's more crisp, a little bit better of a sort of rebound, if you will. And I'll be honest, running in both of these shoes doesn't feel radically different. So I ran with one on one foot and one on the other foot. And there's not a gigantic difference as far as that goes. Lifting, these are plenty fine. The drop is minimal and it's solid enough. Even though it's React foam, there's not a ton of React foam in this thing, right? I mean, if you look up front, that's pretty thin. And in the back, that's, thicker. But this foam, this is not like super squishy, right? If we pull out the midsole and the Metcon 6, I would call the foam up front's very mushy. And then this in the back, the heel is quite firm. It's a very subtle difference, but these are still plenty fine to lift in, at least for the kind of weights that I lift. And I would think for most CrossFit trainees, these are going to be plenty fine for weightlifting as well. I'll have to do some more extended testing, and I will have to test these against other shoes like the Reebok Nano X1, which has recently come out as well. So check back and I will have further thoughts on that probably in the next week or two. How about for running and other impact activities? Well, again, the React foam is an improvement over the regular midsole in the Nike Metcon 6, but it's a very subtle improvement. What I mean by that is there's just not a ton of React foam here. So if you're expecting a React running shoe kind of experience, you're going to be disappointed. This is not at all what it's like. I mean, look how thin the React foam is up front in the forefoot. And even in the back, even in the heel, this is not that thick, right? And beyond that fairly thin wedge of React foam, really there's literally nothing else in here. I mean, that is the midsole. This bottom piece, there's some fabric here, but then it's just literally the outsole. This very firm rubber is the only thing left in the shoe. And you can, running side by side with these, it's very, very hard to tell a difference to me. I did some box jumps. I did some sprinting, some running on my heels, up on my toes. And because the React foam is thin up front and not that thick in the back, it doesn't make a giant difference to me. Now, it does feel a little bit crisper, a little bit better cushioning, I will say. But again, subtle, very, very subtle. It's not like a React foam running shoe. So this is the React Infinity Run Flyknit. This is a shoe that uses a massive amount of React foam. You can see right there. It's got this rocker shape, and there's just so much foam. These are dirty. This center part is just pure React foam. And take a look at the the React foam that you get in this shoe. There's a lot less of it, right? And so I'm not saying that's bad, because you cannot lift weights in these. Make no mistake. This is not, you would not ever lift weights in these React foam running shoes. They're just way too mushy. And when I say you wouldn't lift weights, you wouldn't even really want to lift light kettlebells or dumbbells or anything in these, because they're so super mushy. But have the proper expectations that you get a little bit more of a crisp rebound. It does have that reactive feel, but it's just not on the magnitude of the React foam-based running shoes. All right, so that was our first workout with the Nike React Metcon Turbo, the newest React foam-based training shoe from Nike for the year 2021. What are my thoughts? It is lighter than the Metcon 6. The React foam is a nice subtle improvement over the regular dual density midsole, yet these are still stable enough to lift heavy. They look good, they're comfortable, and hallelujah, they've got real shoelaces. If you enjoyed this review, please like, please subscribe. We post new shoe reviews regularly. Thank you. Have a good day.